So I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to play on Saturday. And while I'm not 100%, like, I probably won't play this deck. I do feel like Rekindling Phoenix is a card that I would kind of like to register. I think this card's just, like, super powerful in general. It's very good at pressuring the miscellaneous planeswalkers while also being difficult to take off the table. Because a lot of these planeswalker decks are playing Kazminia, Vraska's Contempt has become less popular because 6-mana exile planeswalker is not good enough, and less Vraska's Contempt running around is good for Rekindling Phoenix overall. So, this deck, all things considered, is an experimental frenzy-based deck that plays out not too dissimilar from the Green-Black Citadel deck, honestly. It gets a bunch of lands into play, and then eventually you break board stalls with Rekindling Phoenix and Living Twister, and we have the Explore package to kind of keep us alive in the early game. So, I think this one's good enough that I'm going to go ahead and play it on the ladder. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if we play a couple of matches and look to regret that decision, but I think this deck's, like, probably okay against these miscellaneous Planeswalker decks and aggro. JP Miles, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Phoenix is bad against Baby Tef. It's not amazing against Baby Tef, but if you're playing it alongside a bunch of other creatures that can pressure Teferi, it's really not that bad. Yeah, I think this deck's super reasonable against aggro. Both the Explore package and Living Twister tend to be very good against decks that are trying to be aggressive. Laughing in Skull, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You know what? It looks like we're playing against it looks like we're playing against the Nexus deck. So I actually should have shocked and attacked for 1, because my health total is less important than getting through to them. I think I'm just looking for Experimental Frenzy at this point. Wow. Super punish Forbidding Lightning Strike. I was not expecting that. I guess I'll smack them before they turtle up. That's not good for me. You really need to rip a Frenzy and churn through my deck now. Well, there are Nexuses in their deck, apparently. Maybe they're not a Reclamation deck. When 2 decks have the same number of points, what's the second thing you sort by? Personal preference, Chalky. APR, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't think we tried Saheeli in a Grixis shell, if I recall correctly. We've hit them low enough here that this Rekindling Phoenix might be able to close things out in the air. They agree and are taking it away. Frenzy, please. Frenzy, please. Yeah, without finding Frenzy, you're probably dead here.
The moon looks intriguing today. I follow the tracks of the wise.
Will do, Chalky. Thanks for the support. This seems pretty over. I'll take one more draw at Frenzy, but we're gonna lose our board here. I need to grab my Swordtooth. Yeah, we're not beating these things. Alright, so I think I just cut Wildgrowth Walker. I'm gonna bring in Shivan Fire and Collision Colossus to like punch through their blockers is probably not bad. This seems not unreasonable. Why are you sad, Pikes? Listen, a 3-3 with Shroud doesn't even, like, make the top 10 list for things that suck in Modern, so, like, it's whatever. The goose is loose to disappoint another format. Poor little Nimble. Alright, red sources, please. Those are not red sources of mana. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, alright. Slow and steady. They really did it. They made an entire cycle of Horizon Canopies. Oh. This set hasn't been a big deal for Modern up until now. It's now a big deal. Wait, does this mean... Wait, are there only 6 of them? That means there's only 6 of them? What a weird... Alright, I guess I shouldn't complain. That's weird, right? So we have 6 of them. We've gone from 1 to 6. Well. Burn just got a huge upgrade. Burn just got a very significant upgrade. Green-Black Rock also getting a significant upgrade. Yeah, every deck that can play those cards is going to play them. Those lands guarantee that this set is going to sell well. Well, that's unfortunate. Man, green black hardened scales looks insane now. That sounds wonderful. Oh gosh, hardened scales has a free way they give the Force of Naturalize too. Although they probably don't have enough green cards to play Force of Naturalize, huh? Yeah, Burn's just gonna play 8. Just all 8 of them. Kinda disappointing that we didn't get all 10. It's really weird that we have like 6 of a cycle in Modern now. Modern Burn isn't mono red, but it might as well be. I love the sound effect on this card. Yep. All right. Are you kidding me? Magic sucks sometimes. Just really just sucks a giant bag of it sometimes. Just lightning strikes, just waiting to be played. Just waiting to be played. This is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. Great. Frenzy's a nice addition to the hand to get Thought Erasure. Ooh, no Thought Erasure. It's like Christmas. Yeah, there's definitely been a distinct downtick in Nexus play. All the various Planeswalkers are very good against them.
Through feud or feast, your blood is mine. I demand servitude. Another day, Kerr.
Main deck Despark. Yep. If they don't have Mortify, the Frenzy could still run away with the game. And like next turn I get to play Twister and like throw this Forest at Thief of Sanity. So like we're not just dead at the moment. They're running pretty low on cards. I would discourage you from using terms like strictly better. So it's really not strictly better. You you literally described situationally better and then just used the word strictly instead of situationally. Like, I get it. Strictly doesn't require context. Yeah, that's the important difference. What's the use for? So Living Twister's second ability allows you to feed the first ability. So as you move into the mid to late game, you get to return lands to your hand to then discard. Alright, hopefully there's a couple of lands on top of my deck we get to play off here. So even though they get an egg here, the Phoenix goes to my graveyard, so my opponent does not get to get the Phoenix back. So, to articulate my feelings, Tyler, I think the deciding factor for your deck playing Llanowar Elves versus a Grazer, if you only have room for one or the other, the deciding factor should basically always be how good is your aggro matchup, and I think this deck has a very reasonable aggro matchup. So I think I am not particularly interested in hedging aggro further by playing Grazer as opposed to playing Llanowar Elves. Alright, so they decided to just concede as opposed to blocking. Got it. Someone had just asked what Living Twister's second ability is for. Example. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Grazer's great, but I definitely think the tiebreaker is certainly how much do you care about... The tiebreaker is how much do you care about the aggressive decks, and I think this deck already has a lot of things that hedge the aggressive decks. Between this being a 2/5 and the Explore package are like pretty decent against red. Yeah, this card's super playable. Oh, gamer, I thought I said it. No, I totally missed it. Its anniversary being off when it comes out of my account is really throwing me. Yeah, it's super awkward. I really wish they'd just fix their crap. Do I want some Viviens? I feel like I do. In fact, I'm going to cut my Llanowar Elves in this matchup, because this matchup's not really about going fast so much as about just, like, having answers for their things. Oh, gosh! I just got done playing Green-Black Elves. Green-Black Elves gets to play this new Cycle land. That's so exciting. My Green-Black Elves deck just got much better. That's wonderful. Snap it off. Four, please. 4, please. 4. Does Green-Black rock one any? Yeah, at least 2. Dredge, Vomit. Every combo deck probably wants 4 of them. No, you wouldn't play the Canopy too. The Canopy gets cut. Yeah, Elves wants at least 3, probably 4. You probably cut like the Canopy, and then you cut you probably cut like the Canopy, and then you cut like a basic and like 2 Blooming Marshes. You probably don't want less than 2 or 3 basics. Yeah, burn with 8 is gonna be a thing. I made a command. What did I do? All right, glad I have that. Unfortunate that I can't play a second spell this turn, but it is what it is. Yep. Opponent's clock still pretty slow here. Can I get this down? It's like, hey, look, a distraction. It's gonna hopefully help us hit a couple of land drops here. I think I definitely want the lands. That way, next turn I can go Jadelight into Phoenix, and like playing Experimental Frenzy with a bunch of lands in play is great. My opponent's already like through D-Sparks and Vraska's Contempt, so like, hopefully this or this is gonna stick around. Knight of the Reliquary already had a cycle land, and it wasn't good enough.
You'll have to do better than that. Come to me.
Have we ever played the Bus Mirror? Can't say that I have. This is my birdie. My birdie's amazing. Oh no! Don't jail my bird. That's rude. Why are they playing Prison Realm in their black deck? That's such a weird inclusion. Like, you have D-Sparks and Vraska's Contempts and, like, all these other ways that, like, actually get rid of things. That's such a weird one to throw in.
I've seen squirrels hit harder.
Alright, so I think I actually do this before I Vivien, because this way I can Vivien past the top card of my deck when it's bad. You have a Moment of Craving? Sure. I am down to 32 cards in my deck.
You can't stop nature.
The person who said they seem absurd in Dredge, it's because they are absurd in Dredge. 23 cards in my deck. Opponent's at 43. Now, this is actually good for them here because I was debating popping the Frenzy since I had another one, but without the second Frenzy, that becomes less appealing. I might actually have a hard time killing them for 50
Now
here.
we're getting started. No one knows the wilds like I do.
I've seen these tricks before.
Scars are lessons written in skin.
What a mess I've made.
All right, time to try and close things out. They're at 52. But like they have nothing.
Wait millennia for revenge.
Balance.
I'm actually going to decline to take anything here because I need the cards in my deck. They're just conceding. Because Vivien gets to shoot this down and unlock my Phoenix the next turn. Seems good. Well, she can clear her plus clears the top of my deck while I have Frenzy out, Tom. So her plus has value even if I'm not pulling things out of my deck. I am really looking forward to chess clocking Nexus players out of the game. Really, really looking forward to that. Thursday morning the update goes live. Which reminds me I should update my schedule.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. I've got time.
No, we did not make a Soul Typo deck, Brutesy. Everything that we play as always ends up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, the chess clocks go live Thursday. You can report, but they don't actually enforce anything, Zombie.
I am not going to sit this one out. Don't worry, I got this.
Bouncing my Explore creature. Bold. They have a Shock here or a Shivan Fire. Yeah, I 100% think that chest clocks are going to make it less popular.
I've got it.
I was really hoping to hit a land there so I could, like, play Phoenix as well. The fact that I missed on the land to get the Phoenix out probably means I'm going to lose this game.
Has arrived. Let's try this. Look to the skies.
Lightning Strike's a good draw.
Watch this.
I'm gonna Lightning Strike this so that way it can't bounce my egg.
We will meet again.
I think Rekindling Phoenix is very good right now.
Magnificent.
And if they like have more planeswalkers, my Phoenix is just gonna pressure them out. And once I play this other Rekindling Phoenix next turn, my Wayward Swordtooth gets to power up,
To me.
which is pretty good. I'm gonna let them keep the Sarkin if they want.
Listen to them roar. I will. Come on.
If they wanna trade off their dragons and take 5 here, I think I'm okay with that. Cause like I've got 12 in the air next turn potentially.
Impossible.
Wonder if they have a third Sarkin here. If they have a third Sarkin here, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Because it puts another dragon in play, and then my Rekindling Phoenixes can no longer attack. Because they'll take 3 when they attack. Bottoms up, that bodes well for us. It's possible I should have been greedy last turn and like played Jadelight to try and hit the land here, but probably too greedy.
I have just the trick for this.
Clarion doesn't do anything here because the birds just come back next turn, which is nice. So like they're at 11, so like they have to block here. Would have hit the land, should have been greedy. So now these blocks do mean that Clarion gets them back into the game. Oh, they play Spell Pierce. Oh, that's gross. I totally knew that Spell Pierce is a card that they play too.
And prepare.
Hopefully this just means they're dead. Hopefully this just means they're dead, but definitely need to like write Spell Pierce down on a sticky note next to my monitor. Just be like, BT dubs, play around this. I think we're good to go. Do I want Cindervines in this matchup? That's probably not good enough. Vivien sounds great. Wildgrowth Walker sounds kind of mediocre. I think Collision Colossus is probably okay. This kills their planeswalkers when they attack, right? This seems reasonable. Is there a front runner for my choice to deck this weekend? Probably not. No, I'm gonna go with no. It was Bantbo, but Bantbo just seems really bad against all these planeswalker. And especially, you can just, like, never beat the Command the Dreadhorde deck to save your life. Both the Wildgrowth Walker package and their go over the top card, just like Dumpster U. I think I'm gonna end up registering for Rekindling Phoenix. I don't know what the other 71 cards are, but it's feeling like I should register for Rekindling Phoenix. This is like missing double red. It doesn't have a frenzy. Sure. Would really like to draw a land next turn so I can go land, Swordtooth, second land.
Stand by and watch. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Land. Ding, ding, ding. So I actually would consider playing the green-black Citadel deck, except I think with the new chess timers, it's going to be too hard to combo kill people. Like, if people are above 20, you're realistically going to time out trying to kill people with Citadel, I think. Like, you can do it, it's just not going to be feasible a lot of the time, I think. Maybe we'll try on Thursday and see how it goes once they add the chess clock, but that's a real concern that I have. Really hoping to draw a land next turn so I can lightning strike this through a spell pierce. Or they're just tapping down. Still would like to draw a land. Alright, I'm gonna gamble here because I need to hit my land for the turn, I think. 30 minutes for the match. Namichill, you're destroying my commands. I had a command for Canopy. My poor command. My poor command. It's fine. Yours has a link in it. It's probably better. I wasn't, like, just dead there, but we were pretty far behind. I mean, like, it's incredibly easy for them to print modern playable cards. Thank you, Weens. Perfect. Needs another red source, but elf into like good spells is pretty good. Perfect. So we'll go Phoenix into Vivien into Frenzy. And by that I mean this is dead. Jadelight, please. Jadelight, please. Tilt. Green-Black Rock probably wants at least 2 of the new Canopy. Elves probably wants 3 to 4. Right on time, Jadelight Ranger. Welcome to the party.
Keep an open mind.
Emmanuel, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here.
I know responsibility. Trust me, I have a plan.
Yeah, burn both gets better because everybody's going to be playing these cards, while also getting better just because it also gets to play them.
I didn't live through hell. Meet my newest friend.
So like burn just gets like both halves of the spectrum on this exchange. I'm gonna take Wayward Swordtooth here. She probably finds another land next turn. I don't know, I don't have that many non-creatures in my deck, so I wouldn't be surprised that, like, don't have all their spell pierces in post-board. They have to cut something to, like, fit in Lava Coils in their spot removal.
Here we go.
Yeah, Burn found a solution to the more than 3 lands problem, for sure.
Let us begin. Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
So I think I actually just Lightning Strike Karn here.
I am proud to have fought.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
This might be a bad idea.
Yep.
Oh, so it's going to be like that, huh?
I know 88 ways. I have just the trick for this.
The Moxie animation is really clean. Oh no, they have multiple good cards. Prison Realm, sure. That's actually a pretty good draw, because it means I get to get rid of this. Do I plus looking for a land, or do I just kill this? I think I just want to kill this.
Sometimes rest not bad for a mouse.
This guarantee stops them from drawing another card, which is
I
nice.
shall miss your company.
Now let's dig for some lands here. Like, they can cash this in to bounce something next turn. Maybe you could argue I keep the Frenzy, so that way I have something to play through a counterspell. Because, like, if they counterspell this, I'm kind of on empty at this point. Another Shock's a reason to wait on.
No, I am not making this up
To
as
just
I go.
plus there. Definitely not something I was really thinking about. I am 1 permanent short. If I would have hit a land there, I could have turned on the Swordtooth, which would be nice.
That's more like it.
I assume we're gonna see them Prison Realm the Jadelight. Depending on what they draw here, if they hit like a Sarkhan, maybe they leave it alone. The real question is, can I afford to play around Spell Pierce with this Frenzy? Alright. Since I drew something else to do this turn, I'm just gonna go Swordtooth, pass. Rather than potentially go Swordtooth, Frenzy, hit a Spell Pierce.
I've got it.
We have Nova. Nova's a card they could have in post board.
Sorry I'm late.
Alright, and then if I don't draw like another 3 or 4, I think I'm just going to jam the Frenzy here. And just try and start get that going.
Behold!
Lightning Strike's a good one. Land on top, that's good. I'm still at 20, which is nice. Now, one thing to consider is that I did board out my Wildgrowth Walkers, which means I only have my 20 points of health to work with. So if my opponent gets super aggressive here, I could be in trouble. Huh, this card's like really good against Frenzy, huh?
That's more like it.
It's a good top deck there. Their third one or their fourth one? It's their third one. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a hard time racing. No, this is good against Frenzy because it means I can't replay these cards that they've bounced. That's why it's good. Howdy, Chris. Hey, Curtia, thank you for the 16-month resub and the tier 2 at that. Welcome back. I already replied to emails on Sunday. There are decks from... Well, I guess ones that went out Sunday evening I haven't responded to yet.
See how you work.
If they have another non-creature spell here, I'm in a lot of trouble because they're just going to have infinite blockers. That's brutal. Yeah, maybe cutting my Wildgrowth Walkers was wrong. It's like never going to be able to pressure the Teferi off the table now. I mean, you're just never flashing in cards off the top of your deck. That's just not something that's relevant. You're always going to be playing them on your turn so you can play the most possible stuff. Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I like to think fast.
Yep. Made you shocked because that's how this game's going. Yep. Alright, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. When I get back, we're going to play probably one more with this. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Seth. Again, just like trying to predict, like, as opposed to like trying to predict like what decks are good, like focusing on combinations of cards that seem powerful early tends to be what yields the best results in my experience. Oh, that's an interesting idea, JPaz. I could see little Vivien being okay in here. That makes what you are saying makes sense. Gives us more density towards finding Rekindling Phoenix too. Two months away from the sword I'll probably never use except on my phone. Thanks for the 10 months, Mojo. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Am I gonna play my matches for the MCQ Saturday? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna play in the event that we qualified for. We have a family thing Saturday night for Memorial Day weekend, so I'll probably play them during the day, but yeah, I definitely plan to play them. No, almost certainly not going to stream it. If you stream something like that and get ghosted, you have only yourself to blame. This deck probably dumpsters Grixis between Rekindling Phoenix and Frenzy. If my matches aren't me just getting run over and being miserable, I'll put them on YouTube, but if I just get dumpstered, I probably won't bother. Yeah, every other month qualifies you for a new one of these weekends, Lord. So this month and next month will qualify you for another weekend for the next one. I don't know, Boneless. The Bant deck that I was enjoying has a really hard time with all of the decks that did well at the Open this past weekend. So I'm not going to be playing that. I assume they're trading here. Yeah, both the Dreadhorde decks and the Jeskai Planeswalker decks are like bad news bears for Bant. Yep. Yep. Alright, well, I mean, I feel like we're still in a good spot. It's just going to take us a little bit here.
Every exploit
You didn't kill my frenzy. I killed my frenzy. So, like, obviously, it feels bad that, like, I didn't play my land, and then there was a 3-drop on top of my deck, but, like, there's also a chance there's, like, not a 3-drop on top of my deck. Maybe you could make the argument that I'm supposed to go land Living Twister Frenzy there. So that way I, like, get to guaranteed use my mana. I could see that being a discussion.
In my inconceivable.
Like, just get all that stuff guaranteed into play.
Intellect is without limit.
Oh no! Oh no! Alright, so what I should have done there is I should have lightning struck him in response.
Your efforts are futile.
Ended up not mattering. Would have been this Jadelight here if they plus the Nickel loss. This way, even if they have if they have another Ugin for the frenzy, they could maybe get through this. But otherwise, we're in an okay spot here. If we can find, I think we are through 2 lightning strikes. So if we can find our 3rd lightning strike, we can finish the Nickel loss off. Wow, their hand must not have any spot removal in it, huh? Situation like what we just had there is a good example of what someone was talking about earlier in the possibility of like having little Vivien in play, so like I could play this Rekindling Phoenix off the top of my deck before I draw it for the turn. Getting a little bit of flexibility that way is interesting.
I have other schemes to attend to. My schemes are never ending.
Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to get rid of this and like hold the land. I can see that. Oh, do they have a Thought Erasure here too? Yep. Yeah, I do get to kill Nick at least here, which is nice.
Playing hero, are we?
Pick up a land instead of the other Living Twister discarding? Maybe. Our opponents finagled this game to a spot where it's actually kind of close here. If they have another Planeswalker, we might be in trouble. I guess I have both of these. So like they need to like cut through our... They did scry Surveil to the top on the Thought Erasure though. Sure.
Mind and body should move.
I still feel like we're ahead here. Living Twister just gonna punch the clock and go to work. Wow, that missed. That's really good for us. They have another land here. I think we're actually still ahead at this point. So I get to go like pick these up, kill Nickel Bolas, kill Narset, hit you for 2. Do I care about... Nothing in my deck draws cards, right? Yeah, so I'm actually just going to hit them down to 5 here. And just leave her on 1.
Contain your rage.
Yeah, Living Twister is just a very unique form of flood insurance. That was just a good example of like why he's just a good card in general. Just because he was able to be reasonable in the face of a control deck, while also just like being a 2/5 brick wall against aggro. Hey, Admiral. Hope life is treating you well. This hand very cleverly doesn't have any good spells in it for them to Thought Erasure. Oh, you know what? I should shock in the Stomping Ground, so this way if I draw Living Twister, I can play that on too after they Thought Erasure this. He's dead, Jim. You've killed my elf.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Immortal Sun? I could see that. We talked about 3-mana Vivien as opposed to 5-mana Vivien, but Immortal Sun was not something I'd considered. And it seems like it's genuinely very reasonable, huh? Because, like, we just, like, don't mind playing that many lands out. That's pretty bold. Just like top of the collision. Again, just don't care about the text on this card, so ignoring her. It is still a 2-for-1, that is correct. So I assume we'll see Nick shoot Jadelight here.
All of the multiverse will bend to my will.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I will return one day. I outsmarted you eons ago. You amuse me.
But no one knows the wilds like I do.
Phoenix sounds great. They contempt Vivien, they're then down a contempt for this Phoenix. And if they're dealing... Am I open to a cut the line for 4-color Dreadhorde today? 100%, Mr. Photon.
I will return. Let your weak minds crumble.
In fact, this is our last match with this one, so if you wanted to cut it in next, you could, or you're welcome to cut it in. Cut it in later as well. Okay.
Every defeat is a new beginning.
I have other plans.
So, do I just jam the Phoenix here? Or do I play the Frenzy to play around Thought Erasure? This plays into Ugin, and getting Phoenix down is not bad. Like, they are at 16. That's unfortunate. It does fail to play around that. Hey, Mr. Photon coming in hot. Thank you for the absurd support. So, like, even if they flip this over here, they, like, flip it, shoot this, this kills this. So I'm not really sure what they... Okay, so they can flip it, reanimate this, shoot this, and then, like, I attack this and they have this left over. Man, dispersal. Yes, I should hold a land. Like to draw Vivien or a Collision Colossus. Playing these is good in the event that we draw Frenzy, though, so it's like... I think I'm supposed to play them out, even though I just got. So we're gonna do 12, they'll flip this over, they'll get their other Nickel Bolas back, they'll shoot my Jadelight.
Why be a beast when I can be a god? Death. I have a few openings for more minions. Another to suffer for your cause.
Alright, Llanowar Elves, not gonna do it. Alright, on the play for the third one. Think I'm happy with how I sideboarded? I don't think Cindervines is good enough. I think I'm just gonna run it back. Sure. We've got the tracks of land, so we're hoping to tie the rest of the room together with a frenzy off the top. Probably burning the Colossus to kill her next turn. Like, stops them from drawing an extra card. Although I guess I can just attack her for 2. Yeah, we don't care about her alt text, right? One of our payoffs here, Rekindling Phoenix, is nice. Ditch this mountain to the Nickel Bolas. Cast Collision, attack them for 6. Have a Contempt here. Well, that worked out incredibly well. That worked out incredibly well. I think if you have like less than 5 or 6 lands, you're supposed to play the land before you play the Frenzy every time. They can dispersal the Frenzy this turn, but I've got plenty of other cards in my hand, and I've got plenty of lands in play, so that doesn't seem particularly good for them. They're still 2 turns off of Ugin, so I should be getting to untap with this Frenzy, and hopefully get to play through a bunch of stuff with this Wayward Swordtooth. I assume they're going to kill my 5/5. They should probably do it before it comes back to my turn and I get to play extra lands with it. You know, it's funny, earlier this game, I definitely had a turn where I could have just used this as a Boros Charm, and maybe I should have. If they have Ugin here plus anything else, I'm basically dead. I just don't have a lot going on. I'm one point, I guess I'm not just dead, because I'm 1 point short of killing them. If they have Ugin to take out the Frenzy plus some other relevant removal spells. And so since there's another brick on top of my deck here. I've had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spells in 19 cards. What? Sure. Sure. Did I just kill their Ugin here? I think I just killed their Ugin, right? Oh, right. I have a Frenzy. I'd have to blow it up. I could sack Frenzy, but then they still block here, and this is only 6. Lands. Lands. Alright. Alright. This is probably the part where they ritual Asut and I just cry. Yeah, this is again talking about what happened earlier this game. I had an opportunity to use this as a deal for to them, and I just didn't do it. We're not just dead because we've got the double frenzy in play here, but we're definitely behind where we otherwise would be. If they were at 5, we could just like hit running strikes and kill them. There's a thing right there, chat. That's what the glowing circle means. It actually just be dead to this. This is the last match with this deck. Game 3 last match. Do I kill this or do I strike them? I think I'm supposed to kill their Narset. Twister's not a bad one. Twister, they're actually just dead to Twister untapping. Hey, Guard, thanks for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. And, like, they also need to, like, get rid of the Rekindling Phoenix, too. Twister's just been very, very good in this deck. yeah, the plussing the Ugin instead of just down ticking on the Twister is bold.
Spark will be mine.
You hit 99, party bus.
My defiance has consequence.
As I say, I technically have the mana to like blow both these up and kill them. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. That really worthwhile? That seems loose.
Beasts are much more reliable than humans. You can't stop nature.
There's actually a deck that does that in my deck queue. Azrius. Because activating Twister costs 2 mana. I don't have a land. So we were hoping for a land on top after we plus the Vivien. This card's like good, but it's not like 1 mana shock land good. Yeah, it was lit up because of the bounce a land, exactly. Yep. 4 mana Bolas, not so good in the face of Vivien. Morning, Goons. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. So they could double down tick on my Rekindling Phoenix here, like down tick, but then like this is still sitting here, staring them in the face. All right, if they pass with just a mountain up here, we're gonna kill them. We're gonna blow both frenzies, then Colossus and hit them in the face.
Truth lies beyond vision.
Sweet.
Balance comes.
Down tick Vivien on your own frenzy for style. I mean, like, red-white mid-range is almost certainly fine, Scholar. I just really don't like 4-mana Karn. Like, giving up a bunch of sideboard slots for a 2-of just, like, doesn't seem like good deck building. As far as this is concerned, Llanowar Living Twister is really sweet. I have a couple of these in the sideboard of the green-red Sarkhan deck, and it does a lot of work there as well. I think this card's just, like, very reasonable to format in general if you can cast it. Just, like, a good body against aggro, and just, like, gives you longevity to, like, turn your lands into resources against the control decks. One thing that somebody recommended that sounds pretty reasonable, unfortunately we're out of time for this deck today, is trying some number of Vivien Champion of the Wilds. Doesn't seem unreasonable here. It's nice that her down tick gives you cards that you can still play while you have Experimental Frenzy out. And the fact that she gives our things flash means that if you end your turn with a creature on top of your deck that you want to play and not get stuck in your hand, you can upkeep, play the creature off the top of your deck instead of drawing it and having it end up getting stuck, which seems really sweet. So, I might even try some of these in the main deck, at the very least in the sideboard over Vivien Reid does not seem unreasonable, but this seems like a card that'd be worth testing in this archetype. Hey, thanks for the support, DMS. Welcome back. I appreciate it. All right, four-color Dreadhorde. As a heads up, something I guess I should mention while I'm streaming, because not everybody's in Discord, but if you're a sub, you should pop in the Discord. I am going to be scaling my schedule back down to what I would refer to as more realistic or maintainable hours moving forward. So my plans for my approximate schedule every day is going to be 8 a.m. when I normally start till about 3:30 in the afternoon, Central Standard Cornfield time. So while the viewer numbers were high right after the set released, the streaming 10 hours a day and then working, 12, 13 hours a day is just not sustainable in the long term. So I'm going to be scaling it back down to something more realistic as we move forward.